Hey people, this is MonsterDad and welcome to the channel. This is episode 4 in our Empyrion playthrough, and today we are going to build our Scout SV and go and explore the rest of the planet. In particular, I want to find where the drone base is, because the position of the drone base will inform us as to where we need to place our cannon placements when we make our base. Open sesame. So Bob's been looking after the advanced constructor for us, making sure all our stuff has been going through. So what I built off camera was all the stuff we need for our SV. It's not going to be a complex SV. It's pretty lightweight, really just for scouting. It will have at least one Gatling gun on it, just for defense against drones. And if we come across any neutral POIs that are defended by a drone, we can just take out the drone and go in and loot. The rest of the stuff here is just in preparation for our base, which we will probably start building in the next episode. But for now, I hung on till morning because I didn't want to start building this at night, because it's difficult to see. So what we're going to do is go over to this landing pad over here. So we've got a bit of space and off the ground, away from hostile critters. A beautiful morning on planet Aqua. Oh look, you can see the moon there as well. Beautiful. Very cool. Okay, so we're going to start building our Scout. What I'm going to do first is clear my hotbar of all the stuff I don't need. I might as well eat the grilled steak. Nom nom nom. I'll leave the multi-tool there in case we make a mistake, which I'm sure we will. So let's put the initial things down. Power generation, RCS, cargo and ammo, the stuff that will go inside basically. And let's grab the cockpit initially as well. So to start an SV, for those of you who haven't built any before, we start off with the SV core, and when we place that down, it'll just drop to the ground. Let's pop it there, and as you can see here, it's got a little arrow on the core, and that's the way the SV will face. So that's the front of the core that's pointing to, or pointing away from, I should say. So this is the front. So what I want to do is make sure the core is behind the cockpit initially, because I need it to be fairly secure from being blasted early on. Now cockpit, if we right click, it'll bring up the different options of the designs you have for, and it does that for most blocks if they do have an alternate design. So I'm thinking with this one it's going to be a Scout, so I'd like a fairly low long profile. That is probably a bit too long. That's 9 long. That could work. Quite short but quite low height. Yeah, let's see what that one looks like. Oh yeah, that'll work. Yeah, so I'm going to pop that there. Good. I'm going to get rid of these 3 blocks here because I don't need those. So power generation, do you know what? I'm going to pop those either side of the core. So there's our generator, there's our fuel tank. RCS, you need the RCS for turning your craft, and I'm actually going to put 4 on this, which is probably a little bit over the top for a vehicle that of this size, but I do want it to be fairly highly manoeuvrable. And you know, I think I'm just going to pop those in a line straight down the middle there. Yeah. Okay, so we've got an ammo box. I'm going to pop that there. And cargo containers, if you right click, you can get different varieties, and they are relative to the amount of storage they have. So I'm actually going to pick this one. And if we do it that way, I'm going to pop one either side of that. and that way I can get one of the engines there. Yeah, so that's looking okay so far. I think what I'll do now is work on some of the superstructure before I place the engines. Okay, so they're the other things that need to go on. So I've got a sort of design in mind for this one, and it's kind of asymmetrical design, just to give it a bit of interest. So I'm thinking there. No, I think I probably want that one over. Okay, let's pop a block there and pop the Gatling there. Yeah. Cool. Now I've got a design in mind with the Gatling. I want it to look like it's being fed from the ammo box. So some of the blocks you can do down here are like a piping type block. So what I'm thinking of here is something like this. They have no right angle one, do they? That's a shame. They've got that one. Will that work? That could work actually. Let me just try this out. So I'm going to put another ordinary block there. I'm going to turn that pipe, if I can get it the right way round. There we go. Into there. I'm also going to put a similar one on top. Yeah, we'll go for a similar sort of design on the top. Again, if I can get it the right way around. Then we'll have a straight edge on those two. And a turn at the end. Now this isn't going to give it much in the way of defence. But that's not really the purpose for this. Like I say, it's a scout ship. I don't intend really getting this into harm's way much. Yeah, once it's textured out, I think that'll work. I'm tempted to just pop no. I think what we'll do there, I do want a row of blocks here. Yeah, in the front. And what we'll do there is just bring that in with a slope. That might be a bit too much. There we go. I don't think that's going to work. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'll probably change that at some point, but I'll leave it for that at the moment. We'll get on with the rest of the superstructure. But I'm reasonably pleased with the way that is at the moment. Once we texture that up, I think we can make that look pretty good. So like I said, I want this a fairly slim, long profile. So what I might do is just taper this in slightly and then taper it out at the end and then get all the engines within this area. Yeah, I think that'll probably be okay. So if we just duplicate the blocks, these two blocks that we put here, is that right? Yep. What we can do now is turn on the symmetry tool. So we'll stick a symmetry plane straight down the middle. Is that right? Yep, looks good. And now we can work on both sides at once. So what I'm thinking is taper this one in. If I can get this right way again. Yep. So taper it in there. We can use, I think, one of the half blocks. Which we go. That's probably enough actually. Then taper it out again. Cool. Yeah, we'll have to tidy up the front end at some point, but we'll do that last because it's not going to be part of the symmetry. Yeah, so we need to get plenty of engines in, and if you've played Space Engineers, you'll know that you can't put anything in front of engines and block them, because it will just destroy the block in front of them. That's not the case with Empyrion. You can actually hide engine blocks inside and behind other blocks, and it'll have no effect on the way the aircraft will fly, or the spaceship will fly. So I've done enough for 4 on each side, but I don't think we probably don't need that many. We'll start off like that. Let's stick 2 there. I'm going to put the I should say the up thrust. I'm just going to add them there, so they'll be hidden. Side thrust may as well go there. So we've got downwards, upwards, left and right. So we need back and front now. Now the rear thrusters I'd quite like to be not blocked off, because I like to see the thrust on the rear of the craft. The reverse thrust, or the braking thrust, I think can just be hidden behind. Yeah, they can just be hidden behind the rear thrusters. Okay, so this is going to be one of the reverse thrusters that can go into there, and the others can sit there. I must have miscounted with my thrusters. I've got 6 left. Oh well. So if we pop an ordinary block there, we can have the rear thrusters across like that, and they'll be open, so we'll see the thrusters whilst we're flying. What's the length of that? Not too bad. I don't like this bit on this side. I'm going to have to change that. I'm probably just going to taper that in all the way on that side. I don't mind a little bit of an asymmetrical design occasionally. I think it works like this because the asymmetrical aspect is the actual Gatling. So I think it works. Okay, so that's tapered out there to those thrusters. We'll leave those thrusters exposed as well, I think, and then we'll start tidying up the rear portion. I think we'll just taper that back in again, and then with a smaller one, how's that look? Yeah, I'm going to take those off now. They're bugging me. I think what we'll do are half blocks up until that, and then taper that one in. Now that shouldn't have put anything on the other side. No, good. Okay, so it still tapers out at the same spot there. I think that's a little bit better. Yeah. I do need to hide these areas. I perhaps should have put a solid block behind here and then started all this. Could still move it. That wouldn't be a problem. In fact, we'll do that. Let's get those 3. Pop a solid block there. So we're probably good with just 2 down thrusters. Gravity will help as well. And then just add that RCS to that little spot there, which I think works. Yeah, we'll go with that. I'm not going to bother with the other Gatling. I'm just going to put the one Gatling on this. Don't need those other thrusters. So we've got a couple of lights. I'll probably only end up with one light on this, actually. We'll tidy this front up a bit as well, so it doesn't look quite as odd as that. Yeah, and we should be able to just bring this pattern across here. Okay, let's try it and see what it looks like. We should be able to just put one of these there, and that should work. Yeah, I think so far so good. Forget about the front at the moment. I'm going to play around with that once we've got the rest of it in, I think. I think so far so good. What we just need to do is do something with the top. Let's put like a spine across the top here. So something like that, and then we can go with the wall block, which sits fairly flat, if I can get it that way. Why won't you sit flat? There we go. Let's just do it to there for the moment. And we can... I should use the drone to do this rather than me jumping around all over the ship, but hey ho. That was that slope. There's a thinner slope as well. That's this one here. What I think I might do is just add that in front of this one, just to make that a bit smoother and break up that sharp edge. Okay, so far so good. Now those three thrusters will be exposed, so we just need to, I guess we could just do a flat back on it here. Flatten those two edges using our small slope again. There we go. And then once that's textured, we can do something with the texturing to make that a little bit more interesting. But yeah, that's sort of what I was looking for. Something very short, as in not very high, a little bit long, with a little bit of asymmetry on it, just to break up the lines. And I think so far so good. Okay, so I'm going to take this symmetry plane off now, and I want to just try and work on this front a little bit. I'm really not liking that. Yeah, not entirely happy with that, but I think we'll go with that for the moment. Yeah, so we've got all our engines on it. Let's get in, put some fuel in it and lift it up so I can get to the underneath. So let's fill that. Power on. Might as well fill the magazine and load the Gatling. Okay, let's lift up a touch. Am I going to be too high to get back? No, because I can get in from underneath it here, because I can get to the cockpit there. So very exposed at on the underneath, but we're going to deal with that now. I think we're covered now. Yeah. Oh, I should leave just... I'm going to leave one of those exposed so that I can get to the cockpit from the underneath. So, yeah, sort of what I was after. I think it's good enough for a scout. Yeah, it's pretty agile. Turns pretty well. The crash is okay. Ooh. I just need to learn how to fly, that's the problem. Let's pop this back down here. Yeah, it's got pretty good acceleration, which is important so that we can get out of trouble fast. and I sort of like that Gatling. I think, I'll probably make my mind up properly once we've textured it properly. And what I'll do is we're running a bit low on time now, so I'll probably texture it off camera and then show you the result on the beginning of the next episode, just before we go and explore. I want to explore this episode. Actually, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll texture it off camera, but what I want to do before we end this episode is just do a quick fly around the planet and see what we can find. So let's grab the map. Let's head to a point just there, because it's sort of like on the middle, and then we'll take a left, and then we'll get back to this point here. Let's move out and up a touch. Good. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. A bit grey and boring at the moment, but we can change that. I think I like the way the gun looks. Again, I've got an idea of the texture for that, and I'll play around with a few things. Okay, I can see a POI over there. Don't know whether it's friendly or not. Let's get a bit closer and find out. That's a fortress. I think we won't get any closer than that. No drones guarding it. That's unusual. Yeah, we'll give that a bit of a wide berth, I think. Anything over this way? I can't see. Well, what I want to do is just do a quick tour around the equator region, see what we can see. I'll do a more thorough exploration at some point. Oh, green mist. If you're unfamiliar with the map, or the way the map and playfield is created here, you can see this line down here. I'll just run up to the North Pole and show you that. But essentially this map is created on like a big rectangle. So if you imagine a big rectangle of paper, the map has been created onto that rectangle, and then it's been wrapped around. Sorry, wrong button. So that rectangle of paper has been wrapped around this sphere. So the top and the bottom are obviously cut off because the map's been wrapped around it. So there's a red barrier north and south to the poles, because you can't actually get to the poles. And then if you imagine where those two pieces of paper would join around that sphere, that's this seam here, and that's the green barrier. So imagine that's a piece of sticky tape that's been put across the two ends of the rectangle to stick it together. We'll get there eventually. So there's the red barrier. So that's the end of the playfield to the north, and the green barrier is where the two playfields, the ends of the playfield, have met together around the sphere. The important thing about the green barrier is, although as I fly down here it looks like you can see everything on the other side of it, you can't actually see whether there are any POIs on the other side of the green barrier until you go through it. So you need to be a little bit careful sometimes when you do that. Just be ready to pop back through this side if you come across something a little bit dangerous. So we'll get back down to our sort of equator region. Oh, we're flying too close to that fortress again. And we'll head on across the green barrier from here and see what we can see. So like I say, got to be a little bit careful going through here, but we'll see what's there. Oh, there's the drone base. Talk about being careful. Oh, something else is shooting at me as well. What on earth is that? A spaceport. I'm going back through, like I said. And I'm probably too close to the fortress now as well. That could have been very, very... Oh, I am too close to the fortress. So like I said, just to emphasise that point, or to make that point clear, you've got to be careful going through that green barrier. So we went through there, that fortress is there, and right on the other side was a drone base, and I think it was a spaceport. So what I'm going to do is head a little bit north, and then go through the green barrier. So let's do that. Let's head through up here, and hopefully we're far enough north of that spaceport not to get blasted by its lasers again. Yeah, so you got the drone base, and I think it was a spaceport there, wasn't it? Yes. Wow, and there's a POI there as well. I think that's an enemy POI as well, on top of that hill just there above my cockpit. I can't see anything else that way. So I'm going to head down here and just get close enough to identify this one. Not sure what that is. It's a comm centre. I can tell by the little bauble on the top now. Which isn't too bad actually. Comm centres are not that difficult to take. However, its proximity to the clone base, this isn't Star Wars, it's not a clone base. The proximity to the drone base could be an issue. Oh yeah, I'm a little bit too close to it still at the moment. Okay. So that could have been completely disastrous. And there's a POI over there as well. That looks like a neutral POI. A farm. Oh, that's good for experience because there'll be a lot of plants in there. And once you pick all those, it'll get your experience up. I'm not going to go down there now and loot that because I just wanted to do a quick whiz around the equator of the planet, see what we could find, and as it happens we found a lot, so that was well worth doing. So let's head back over to Civil Hub Park, and like I said, what I'll do off camera is texture this scout vehicle. There's the engine compartment where we started. Yeah, I'll texture the vehicle off camera and then show you that when we get back. And then what we'll probably do initially next episode is do a more complete exploration of the map, see if we can find anything else of use, and then decide on where the base is going to be. And I'm pretty certain I like the look of this area by this village, in this kind of crater. Not too far from a lake, so I want access to the water. We can take that abandoned factory at some point. The 3 Titan parts are nearby, so we'll find the cores in those, loot them, and take those apart for resources at some point as well. And we'll encompass that village as part of our settlement as an indigenous quarter. I'm just going to skip over the top of the hill here and go to that. So yeah, that was really worthwhile, having that little fly. Little fly by the settlement. Whee! Buzz the tower. And let's land. So we've got nothing in here to perish in a fridge because I don't have a fridge, so I'll just pop the power off completely. Oh, I wish it'd remember your settings when you get in. Light on. Okay, that's the end of that. I'll call that episode there. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the design process for that Scout SV. If you enjoyed the episode, please press the like button. Please subscribe to be notified from the next episode, and I'll see you later. Bye.